You ever wake up on a Saturday morning, walk outside, and suddenly realize your life's become the plot of a true crime docuseries? Yeah, that was me. Except the crime was apparently me trespassing. On my own front lawn. Picture this. 3 cop cars screeching to a stop in my driveway. Neighbors popping out from behind curtains like prairie dogs, and Betty Whitfield, our HOA president. Clipboard in hand, finger pointed like she's IDing a bank robber. All because I hammered a little "no trespassing" sign into the dirt. Now, I'd only put that sign up a couple hours earlier. After 8 months of living here, after all those peaceful mornings fixing up the garden, trimming hedges, waving to Mrs. Clark next door, suddenly I'm a criminal in my own house. You know what I mean? 1 minute, I'm sipping coffee with my wife, Jennifer, and the next I'm defending myself against charges of, get this, aggressive occupation of community land. That's right, Betty told the officers I was illegally occupying HOA property, like I'd constructed a moat and raised my own flag or something. Officer Williams, hand near his holster, looks me up and down. Sir, we received a report about an intruder on HOA property. I'm just standing there, keys in my pocket, dumbstruck. Betty, with her ice-cold grin, starts rattling off legal jargon. We filed an emergency injunction with the county this morning. Mr. Thompson, that's me, has erected illegal signage on common area. She even has a folder thick enough to choke a horse, crammed with official-looking papers, surveys, notarized documents. She's ready for war. All around us, the neighborhood turns into an audience. Mrs. Clark's got her phone glued to the window. Johnsons are frozen. Mid-sip on their porch, even the mailman's taking a break to see what all the fuss is about. And I'm thinking, this cannot be real. But the officers aren't laughing. They want IDs, deeds, paperwork, the whole 9 yards. So I hand them my deed, my mortgage, utility bills, HOA fee receipts. Jennifer's Honda's parked right next to my truck. Welcome, Matt still says the Thompsons. Even the gnome on the steps looks insulted. But Betty? She just doubles down. That's exactly what a sophisticated squatter would say. She says I forged documents, set up fake utility accounts, the whole show. She's got a survey claiming my house, my garden, and that supposedly threatening sign are all built 3 feet onto community land. Threatening. Like I'd booby-trapped the tomatoes or something. I tell them about the muddy footprints I found at night, someone messing up Jennifer's herb beds. That's why I put up the sign in the first place, just protecting our little patch of green from whatever night crawler's been traipsing through. Detective Hayes shows up, older guy, all business, the kind of look that says he's seen it all. He wades through the piles of documents, listens to Betty's perfectly rehearsed speech about community standards and aggressive behavior, while I feel like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole. Sun's blazing overhead, burning off any hope that this is just some weird dream. Then, get this twist, Hayes actually asks for proof. Like, real proof. Not just whoever yells community standards the loudest. But before all this, before the circus, my life was ordinary. Saturday mornings were for coffee and garden planning, not legal warfare. That morning, after finding those muddy boot prints in our backyard, Jennifer, who happens to be a forensic pathologist, and thank God for that, squatted down and did what she does best, treated it like a crime scene. Not animal tracks, she told me. All clinical and precise. Someone walked here deliberately. We mapped out every step, flagged the disturbed basil, snapped photos. Jennifer insisted, put the sign up if our paperwork backs us. But don't give them any ammunition. Little did we know, Betty was already plotting. From her kitchen window, she watched us, dialing up her emergency HOA meeting for that night. She spun the whole story for the board, unauthorized signage, escalating aggression, protecting community values. She had maps, photos, documents, all whipped up with suspicious efficiency. No one on the board really remembered authorizing a new survey, but Betty, ex-real estate lawyer, license yanked for ethics violations, talked circles around them. She'd found her new game. Run the HOA like a mob boss, using paperwork as a weapon. By midnight, she'd filed the injunction, prepped the social media post, and made sure everyone knew about the intruder. So, next morning, it's all-out war. I'm fighting to prove I'm not a squatter in my own house. The police are flipping through paperwork. Neighbors are texting screenshots of my face from the HOA Facebook page. Jennifer reads the restraining order out loud. 3 feet along the east boundary, no entry, $5,000 fine for illegal signage. The HOA is demanding I remove my house from the strip of land they claim is theirs. How do you even do that? Jack up the whole foundation and slide it over like a dresser. And then, as if humiliation had a schedule, Betty live streams the afternoon community meeting. She stands behind a podium, big survey maps taped to the wall, pointing at technical marks, reading a statement about my pattern of aggressive behavior. Audience eats it up. I always thought he was weird about his yard. Squatters are getting creative these days. The whole 9 yards. Kids get told to stay away from the intruder's yard. Our mail starts getting dropped at the sidewalk. Johnsons won't look us in the eye. Jennifer, tough as nails in a lab, but never prepared for this level of neighborhood mob, cracks under the weight. Thursday night, she's sobbing about being treated like an accomplice to some wild criminal scheme. Meanwhile, the legal bills pile up, 15 grand just for a decent defense, with no guarantee. Betty sends a settlement offer, sell the house to the HOA for 70% of its value, pay all the legal fees, sign a document promising never to challenge the board again. Oh, and apologize publicly. Sure, that'll happen. Then, here comes the twist. Jennifer switches gears. No more panic, just pure focus. She lines up Betty's official documents across our kitchen table and starts treating them like forensic evidence. Under magnification, she finds matching pen ink on signatures that should have been signed weeks apart. Notary stamps in perfect alignment, paper stock identical. She's practically bouncing with excitement, finding mathematical inconsistencies in the survey calculations. Turns out, the survey firm Betty hired lost its license months ago for falsifying property records in another county. My obsessive documentation, photos, emails, GPS tags, backs us up. Original surveyor, foundation permits, inspection records, all show the house is smack dab where it should be. By Sunday night, we've got proof Betty's entire case is a fabrication. Then Betty calls, right on cue, trying to strong-arm me into accepting her offer, threatening federal prosecution. Jennifer's got the recorder rolling. Every word is evidence of extortion, fraud, conspiracy. But Jennifer doesn't stop there. She digs through public records, finds Betty's drowning in casino debt, her house up for foreclosure. The motive's crystal clear. We find out she's run the same scam on 3 other families in the past 2 years. Always the same playbook. Survey, emergency board meeting, intimidation, for sale. So we set the trap. I text Betty, feign defeat, ask for a settlement meeting. No lawyers, just cash. Jennifer wires up the coffee shop like a CSI set, cameras everywhere. Betty waltzes in, smug as ever, starts bragging about her genius plan. She confesses to everything, falsifying surveys, bribing surveyors, even says her brother-in-law's company's got permits ready for the land. Jennifer's listening in through an earpiece, guiding me through every question. Betty's too high on her own brilliance to notice. And right on cue, police roll up, Detective Hayes leading the charge. Betty tries to protest, but it's game over. The officers slap on the cuffs, Jennifer hands over the evidence, and the crowd in the coffee shop just gawks. Betty's face goes from smug to stunned in seconds. The crime scene tape around our yard gets yanked down, neighbors start knocking, offering sheepish apologies and casseroles. The community meeting that night is full of shock and shame. Harold resigns from the board. Lisa's crying. Everyone realizes they've been played by Betty's con game. Turns out, she's stolen millions over 3 years, forcing families out with bogus claims, selling to her brother-in-law's company, paying off her gambling debts. Her little fiefdom collapses in days. The surveyor loses his license, gets jail time for document fraud. Her brother-in-law gets nailed for conspiracy and racketeering. The state bar goes after Betty's old law buddies. Even the HOA gets dissolved and rebuilt with new rules, term limits, outside audits. Never again will one person have that much unchecked power. 6 months later, our house is whole again. The garden's blooming, kids are back in the yard. Even the mailman uses our front door. Jennifer's forensic work ends up in textbooks. Her document analysis changes how people fight white-collar crime. My architecture business actually booms. Clients want someone who can spot fraud a mile away. And that little no trespassing sign It's hanging in the local legal aid office, a reminder that you can fight back. Neighbors come by. Chalk drawings appear on the driveway. Hours. Mrs. Clark brings over food and a note that smells like sesame oil and relief. The HOA is now transparent, accountable, and run by people who understand the stakes. Jennifer and I, we survive because we trusted each other, and because we refused to let a bully rewrite the truth. You want to talk about justice? It's not a courtroom speech or a TV headline. It's the quiet act of rebuilding what someone tried to steal. The ritual of locking the side gate at dusk, the piece of coffee on the back steps. We learned that you can't let lies redraw your boundaries. Sometimes the strongest defense is just refusing to move. So, tell me, have you ever faced down a bully with nothing but the truth and come out the other side? Drop your stories below. Let's hear where you're watching from. And don't forget, stay vigilant, question everything, and stand your ground. This is real life, and justice, real justice, takes every one of us. 34.